Stand with your feet parallel, hip distance apart. Spread the toes. Engage your quadriceps. Engage your arms, widen across the chest, and spread the fingers. Engage the core. Take a deep breath in through the nose, and then exhale out through the nose. Inhale again, nice and long through the nose. Exhale, nice and long through the nose. Take a couple of breaths here, nice and long, inhaling and exhaling, trying to match your exhales with your inhales. Next inhale, sweep the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, fold all the way down to the mat. Inhale, halfway up, hands on the shins. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up towards the sky. Hands to the heart on the exhale, arms by the sides. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to the heart, arms by the sides. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up towards the sky. Hands to the heart. On the exhale, arms by the sides. A couple of breaths here in Tadasana, mountain pose. Let's stand at the top of our mats. We're going to add on. Inhale, sweep the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, and then walk the feet back to plank pose. We'll take a few breaths here, finding our Tadasana, breathing nice and long. You can drop the knees if you need to for a modified plank. Next exhale, find downward facing dog. We'll bend the right knee, send the left heel to the mat. Bend the left knee, send the right heel to the mat. Alternating here, pedaling out the feet, nice and slowly, using our breath to get a nice stretch along the back of the legs, along our calves. Again, trying to match our exhales with our inhales. Drop the knees, widen the knees as wide as the mat, and the big toes come to touch, and we'll come down to child's pose. Even here, we'll breathe nice and long, and then you can roll your wrists around if you need to relieve them. The first down dog is always a little challenging. Let's push ourselves back into downward facing dog. We'll take a few deep breaths here, nice and long. Inhale to plank. Adjust your hands or feet if you need to. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll try not to move the feet forward, but if we have to, that's okay. We'll take a few deep breaths here. Inhale to plank again. Don't forget to breathe. Exhale, downward facing dog. And do that one more time. Inhale to plank. Keep breathing nice and deeply. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll take 2 or 3 deep breaths here. Breathing nice and long. Drop the knees and take a child's pose. Big toes touch. Separate your knees a little more. Push yourselves up into downward facing dog. We'll take a few deep breaths here in down dog. Engage the core, the legs, and the arms. Lift the right leg up behind you. Try to straighten it as much as you can. A couple of breaths here. Take the knee to the chest, trying to keep that right foot off the mat. Keep breathing here, nice and long. Plant that foot between the hands. Come on up to crescent pose, Anjaneyasana. Finding those same actions, fingers are spread, arms are engaged, back leg is strong. Next exhale, plant the hands on the mat, find plank. We'll take a few deep breaths here in plank pose. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, lift the chest. Exhale, push up to plank, downward facing dog. We'll take a couple of breaths here, nice and long. Lift the left leg up behind you. Try to straighten it if you can. Try to keep the hips square. Keep breathing. Take the left knee to the chest. Keep the foot off the mat if you can, challenging ourselves. And then, with control, plant that left foot between the hands and come on up to crescent pose on the opposite side. Find those same actions here. Tadasana. On the next exhale, plant the hands, find plank. Find your mountain pose here, engaging the core, engaging the arms, engaging the legs. And then lower down, nice and slowly, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, plank. Downward facing dog. Keep breathing, nice and long. Lift that left leg up behind you, and with control, plant that foot between the hands and find crescent pose again. And this time take the hands to the heart and take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, you're going to twist to your left, placing the tricep of the right arm on top of the thigh. Keep breathing nice and long. Come back to crescent on the inhale. Couple of breaths here, nice and long. Exhale, plant the hands, find plank pose. Lower, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, plank. Downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here, and then inhale the right leg up behind you. With control, plant that foot between the hands and come up to crescent pose on the opposite side. Keep that core engaged, hands to the heart, deep breath in, widen across the chest, and exhale, twist to your right side this time. Try to straighten the back leg, keeping it strong, trying to keep the feet parallel as well, trying to open up the chest. Inhale back to crescent, exhale, plant the hands, find plank, chaturanga, lower. Inhale, cobra, keeping the pelvis on the mat. Exhale, push back up to plank, downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here, nice and long. Drop the knees, widen the knees, big toes touch. We'll take a child's pose. Push yourselves up into downward facing dog. We'll take a few deep breaths here in downward facing dog. Lift the right leg up behind you. With control, plant that foot between the hands. Drop the left heel this time, foot's at an angle. Come up to Warrior 1. Keep the back leg strong, engage the core. Now come up onto your toes again on the back foot and lift yourself up into Warrior 3. Try to square the hips, bringing that left hip down a little. Do your best to straighten the standing leg. Come back to crescent pose with the heel up. Drop the heel, Warrior 1. Deep breath in. Exhale. Plank. Chaturanga. Inhale, Cobra. Pelvis is on the mat. Exhale, plank. Downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here. Inhale the left leg up behind you. And with control, plant that foot between the hands. Drop the right heel, coming up to Warrior 1 on the other side. Come up onto your toes of the right foot, coming back to crescent, and then pushing yourself up into Warrior 3. Try to square the hips. Do your best to keep that right hip down. Keep those arms straight. Standing long legs straight. And then come on down to crescent. Drop the heel. Warrior 1. Deep breath in. Exhale. Find your plank. Chaturanga. Lowering. Inhale. Cobra. Exhale. Push back up to plank. Downward facing dog. Drop the knees, widen the knees, big toes touch, and we'll take a child's pose. Push yourselves up into downward facing dog. We'll take a few deep breaths here, keeping the core engaged. Legs strong, arms are strong. Lift the right leg up behind you with control. Plant that foot between the hands. And pick up your strap. Drop the left heel, come into Warrior 1 for a moment. And then take the strap behind you. Take a deep breath in and then exhale, fold into your humble warrior using the strap. Keep the back leg strong. Try to keep that right knee from moving out too much. Trying to center it. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Come back up to Warrior 1. Deep breath in. Exhale. Find your plank, planting the hands. Chaturanga. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale. Plank, downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here. Inhale the left leg up behind you. With control, plant that foot between the hands. Drop the right heel. Pick up your strap. Come into Warrior 1 on the opposite side. And then take the strap behind you again and find a suitable distance between the hands. Deep breath in and exhale. Fold into that space to the right of the left leg and come into your humble warrior using the strap. Keep breathing nice and long. Inhale, drop the strap, come back to Warrior 1. And then on your next exhale, plant the hands, find plank, chaturanga all the way down, Inhale, cobra. Push back up to plank. Downward facing dog on the exhale. Nice. Take a few breaths here. Arms are strong, core is strong, legs are strong. And then we'll take a child's pose. Drop the knees, big toes touch. Push yourselves up into downward facing dog. A couple of breaths here. Take the right leg up behind you. With control, plant the foot between the hands. Come on up to crescent pose. And then with control, grab the left foot with the left hand, coming up into dancer's pose, gradually moving that back leg up, sending the heel away from the body, and at the same time bring the torso down and keeping the right arm up. Release the foot, come back to crescent, deep breath in, exhale, plant the hands, find plank, chaturanga, cobra on the inhale, exhale, downward facing dog. We'll take a few deep breaths here. In down dog, engage the core, lift the left leg up behind you. With control, plant the foot between the hands, come up to crescent pose. Now engage the core and standing leg strong, lift up into dancer's pose, grabbing the right foot with the right hand. Bring that right leg up and at the same time moving the right foot away from the body as best as you can, straightening the standing leg, trying to square the hips and keeping the left arm nice and straight. Dancer's pose. Send that right foot back, find crescent, deep breath in, exhale, plant the hands, chaturanga, inhale, cobra, pelvis is on the mat, exhale, downward facing dog. Take a few deep breaths here. We just got done with our peak pose, so we deserve another child's pose. Drop the knees, big toes touch, and we'll breathe nice and long here in child's pose as well. Push yourselves up into downward facing dog. We'll take a few deep breaths here, and then we'll walk our hands towards our feet and then place the hands on the hips. Come on up with a strong core, and then we'll grab our block and stand with our feet wide apart, with our feet underneath the hands or wrists, and turn the left toes towards the left, bending the knee, coming to Warrior 2. Reach, reach, reach with that left hand, and then place the block underneath the face, coming into modified PARSVAKONASANA. Take the block a few feet in front of you, and then lift up into Ardha Chandrasana. Keep the chest nice and open. The block helps us do that. Keep both legs strong, keep the core engaged. Try to straighten the standing leg. Relax the neck and look wherever it feels good. Keep breathing. Come back to modified PARSVAKONASANA. Come back to Warrior 2. Straighten the leg, parallel the feet, switch the block to the opposite hand, to the right hand. I'm mirroring, so I'm doing the opposite of you. Find Warrior 2 by bending the knee, pointing the toes towards the right. Reach, 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 and then plant the block underneath the face. Other arm goes up towards the sky for modified PARSVAKONASANA with the block. Open up the chest here. The block helps us do that. Take the block a foot or two in front, whatever feels good, and then lift the back leg up, opening up the chest, and find your Ardha Chandrasana, balancing on your right leg. You're mirroring me. Keep breathing nice and long. Good. Come back to modified PARSVAKONASANA. Come back to Warrior 2. Straighten the leg. Take a deep breath in. Arms on the hips. Hands on the hips. Come on down, folding down into PRASARITA PADOTTANASANA. You can remove the block if you used it. Your hands comfortably go down to the floor, or you can keep the block underneath your hands, whatever feels good. Now you can walk the hands back so they're in line with the feet if it feels okay, or you can stay where you were. You have plenty of options. Keep breathing, and then you can even turn your fingers to point towards the back wall, getting a nice stretch through the wrists, whatever feels good here. Keep breathing nice and long. Engage the legs here as well, getting a nice stretch through our hamstrings, through our adductors. Try to keep the chest nice and open and the shoulders away from the ears, trying not to shrug. Bring the hands back to where they were, hands on the hips. Engage your core. Come on up with a strong core. Grab your block again. I'm going to mirror again, so place your left hand on the block underneath the face and start twisting towards your right, and then take your right arm up towards the sky. Keep breathing nice and long. With each inhale, feel your spine growing taller, and as you exhale, twist a little further. Alright, come back down and we'll switch. Your right hand is on the block, and now you're going to turn towards your left, and then you're going to take your left arm up towards the sky, twisting in the opposite direction. With each inhale, feel the spine grow taller, and as you exhale, twist a little further, keeping the breath nice and regulated. And then come back down to the block, remove the block if you need to for one last stay in PRASARITA PADOTTANASANA. Hands on the hips, come on up with a strong core. Grab your strap, and you're going to hold it behind you at a suitable distance between the hands. Take a deep breath in, engage the core, and you're going to fold and take the arms up towards the sky. Keep breathing nice and long. Keep the legs engaged, keep the core engaged, shoulders away from the ears. Couple more breaths. Engage your core and come on up. Release the strap, heel till the feet together, and then you can even jump the last part. Voila. We'll take a few breaths here in Tadasana. Bend your left knee. Place the sole of the foot against the opposite leg. Inhale, take the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, fold and grab any part of the leg that's available, keeping a long spine. Take a deep breath in, lengthen the spine, and then start walking the hand forward. And if available, you can wrap your hands around your toes or any part of the foot that feels good. We're breathing here nice and long, keeping a long spine. If you're not able to touch your foot, that's absolutely fine. You can try to engage the leg that's on the floor, giving a little bit more. Lift that right knee up and place the sole of the right foot on the inside of the opposite leg. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold, plant the hands on any part of the leg that feels comfortable, keeping a long spine. Start to walk those hands forward, and if it's available, you can even grab your toes, only if it's available with a long spine. Deep breath in, lengthening the spine, and exhaling, folding a little more, getting a nice stretch through the left leg. You can engage that leg to get a little more out of the pose. Okay, carefully release, straighten both legs, bend the left knee again, and take that left foot over the right leg. Take the left hand behind you, take a deep breath in, and then twist to your left. With each inhale, feel the spine grow longer, and as you exhale, twist a little further and look towards the back if your neck allows it. And again, see what happens if you engage the right leg. Maybe you'll get a little more of a stretch, and you can even try to flex that right foot. Keep breathing nice and long, lengthening the spine with each inhale. Come back to center, straighten both legs, and we'll switch. Bend the right knee, take that right foot over the left leg, take the right hand behind you. Deep breath in as you're still facing me. Lengthen, exhale, twist to your right. With each inhale, lengthen a little bit more. And as you exhale, twist a little further. And if possible, look over your right shoulder towards the back wall. Try to engage that leg that's down on the ground. Keep breathing. Nice. On your next inhale, come back to center, and you'll straighten both legs out in front. We'll bend both knees and have the soles of the feet together and wrap our hands around our feet or ankles. Take a deep breath in and exhale, bending the elbows, fold forward for Badhhakonasana. We're trying to maintain a long spine here as well, so try not to round that upper back too much. Trying to keep a long spine here as well. Deep breaths in, lengthening the spine, and exhaling, folding a little further, even a few degrees if possible. Next inhale, come back up, bring the knees together, and then we're going to do Ustrasana, camel pose. So you can have your hands behind you like that as you're getting a back bend through the thoracic area. Try to keep the thighs vertical, and if you want, you can take it one step further and place your hands on your heels. Again, really trying to keep those thighs coming straight up and getting a nice bend through the upper back and through the mid-back area. And then bring the hands back to the back, come back up, make your way onto your backs. Keep the legs bent, and we'll windshield wipe the feet, or the knees rather, to the left and right, neutralizing the spine, before we come into a forward fold by hugging the knees into the chest. Rock here from side to side, massaging out the low back. Should feel pretty good. Maybe make circles with our knees here. You can play with the size of the circles. Maybe switch the direction of the circles. Grab your toes with your thumb and peace fingers. And come into happy baby. You can rock here from side to side. And then you can even try rocking backwards and forwards. Getting a little massage along that spine. Feels pretty good. Any variation of happy baby is okay. You can try to straighten your legs here, getting a little bit of a stretch through the hamstring. And then release, hug the knees into the chest one more time. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, release the legs down, arms by the sides, getting ready for our final resting pose, Shavasana. Try to find some stillness. Try to find some quiet. Thoughts will come and go. We'll do our best to stay in the present. Try to find an anchor. It could be your breath. It could be any sounds that are around you. Maybe even a discomfort in the body, something to latch onto to keep us grounded in the present. If you'd like to repeat a mantra over and over again, that could be effective as well. Whatever it is, we'll do our best to stay in the present and find some stillness. In the body as well, we'll try not to fidget too much. Looking for some quiet. A final resting pose, Shavasana. Slowly start to wiggle your fingers and your toes and sway the head from left to right. Take the arms overhead, interlace the fingers, flip the palms, take a deep breath in and a nice long stretch from the feet to the hands. Exhale, release the hands and bring the arms back by the sides. And then roll over to your right side. Make a pillow for your head with your right arm. Push yourselves up as slowly as you can. Your head to come up last. Into a comfortable seated position. We'll continue finding some quiet here for the last few moments of class today. Sweep the arms up towards the sky on an inhale. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Again, sweep the arms up towards the sky on an inhale. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. One last time. Inhale, sweep the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Keep our hands at our hearts. Slowly open the eyes, release the hands. Good job.